Hello, everyone. Today I want to make a video about something that I have had some that the hello. I forgot how to speak English. Oh god, I haven't made a video in so long. I don't know why I'm doing this now. I wanted to make a video about something that has been on my mind honestly ever since the quarantine started, and if you're not from the Philippines, that means the pandemic's probably over. But if you are from the Philippines, you know that we've been in quarantine for 50 years. Okay, first and foremost, if you are new to my channel, hello, how are you? My name is Condi Guides. I am a child. Yeah, welcome to my channel. I don't do YouTube. I really don't. I don't do YouTube a lot. I just do YouTube because I want to communicate with myself, and this is my way of doing that because I don't like not using my mouth. Let's get into the topic. If you don't know who I am, I've played video games basically my whole life. Played ever since the PS2, so I was playing on the PlayStation 2. I believe we had an Xbox 360 and I just broke it. And we had a PSP, we had a PS4 that we've had for a very long time. The PS4, unfortunately, I also broke the PS4. You see the problem with the PS4, it has a lot of wires, so sometimes someone will be like, oh, the PS4 has a lot of wires, oh, someone might trip on that, and it's very dangerous to. Today I want to talk about a topic that I've been basically ranting on with my friends. I'm a big stan on video games, even though I've had an addiction of video games for a while. During the quarantine, there's nothing else to do but watch movies, play video games, and do homework. So, video games, I would like to categorize them in two ways, which is single player and multiplayer. Now, I know there are many different types of video games, but I want to go very general here. I want to go broad. There's a very broad very broad topic that I'm gonna demonstrate here on my channel. Single player games and multiplayer games. They're pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know what they mean, then obviously you're from a different planet. Basically, single player games are, well, single player games. It takes one player to play them. It doesn't need the internet. And multiplayer games are basically, well, it also takes one person to play it, but usually it's online, and you play with other people, you communicate with other people, you interact with other people, whether it's competitively or in a friendly manner. That's what multiplayer games are. Your single player games, you may notice some of the most famous single player games out there, like Last of Us, The God of War, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 2, Uncharted, all those big AAA games. They're your multiplayer games, your typical online games, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Overwatch, Valorant, League of Legends. Please, for the love of God, do not play League of Legends. The video games have been a very, very huge impact, especially to us teenagers out there. There are people like me. There are a lot of people like me who have played video games their whole lives, and it's just a very big part of their lives. But today, my argument is why single player games are better than multiplayer. Now, I just want to get things straight. I will not be comparing the budget or the capabilities of each of the companies that are making these games. Obviously, single player games have a lot of AAA companies. If I compare like the budget size or how their video games are made or how the video games are executed, it will be unfair because there are some single player games who have an extremely high like movie budget, while multiplayer games are basically just online arcade stuff. And I don't want to compare that because it shouldn't matter at all. Graphics shouldn't matter, the way the video games are made shouldn't matter, as long as everyone enjoys the video game, as long as it made a huge impact on everyone across the planet that play video games, then it's a good video game. I'd also like to explain that this isn't entirely a biased conversation that we're having, because I've had the best of both worlds. I enjoyed single player just as much as multiplayer. It's just based on the experience I've had. I just think single player games are the category that is to be more superior. So getting into the topic, I would like to break down each category, just to see what single player games have to offer and just to see what multiplayer games have to offer. I don't know why I'm moving like this. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Let's start with single player games. Single player games are more story driven. Very important essence for a single player game to have great, amazing, immense, intense storytelling incorporated into the video game. These types of video games, they have very intense storytelling. It's very dramatic. Sometimes you don't even get to play the game. It's like almost watching a movie, which is not really a great thing, but it has a balanced sort of thing where you play more than what you more than what you watch in the cutscenes. So yeah, that's that. Another feature that single player offers are retries, meaning that when you fail or an attempt, or when you fail a sort of mission, I suppose, you get to do them again, and you do them better, and this time you succeed. And that's basically the point of single player games. They make sure the player succeeds in the story, the player succeeds to finish the video game, because then if you don't, you won't be able to get that satisfying ending that these companies, these developers have set out for you as the player. Multiplayer games, let's get into that. Multiplayer games are more competitive or more challenging, I suppose, than single player game, just because of the daily grind that you have to push yourself through in order to get better at the game. Now with single player games, you can just retry, you can just do it all over again. You can do it as many times as you want until you complete a certain challenge or a certain mission that you have in the game. With multiplayer, you do one thing and you can't go back, because obviously it's online. I just spat all over my monitor, by the way. I have Another good thing with multiplayer games is that you get to play with your friends. Playing multiplayer, playing with your friends is just an amazing experience overall. Again, I've experienced best of both worlds. I love playing with my friends, but I also love playing alone, and I'll get to that topic and I'll explain why that is. Multiplayer games, it is a daily grind, it's competitive, it's challenging. You need to get better every day. If you don't, you start to overthink and you start to think that you're such a burden to the team, and you're never gonna get better, and you're gonna get bullied online, and you're gonna get bullied by your friends, and your friends are gonna scream. So the reason why I love single player games more than multiplayer games, the absolute main reason why, is because the relationship that I am able to build between me and the video game. Boy, if you don't now, okay, let me explain further. Some of you might be confused. What the hell are you talking about? What relationship? Are you crazy? There's no such thing. It's the same concept as when you're watching a TV series. When you're watching a TV series and you watch it every single day of your life, you get to know the characters, you get to know the story better. You get deep and deeper into the experience. That's basically what I feel when I play video games, but it's enhanced 10 times more, because you actually get to interact with the story, you actually get to interact with the characters. And there are so many video games out there where you build your own story, build your own relationships with the characters. It's very detailed, and that's just what I love about single player games. Now obviously I can't explain this argument fully without mentioning why multiplayer games are less superior. Multiplayer games are obviously great, okay? I'm not saying that they're bad. Despite my experience, I've actually had a lot of really, really bad experience with games like League of Legends. I've in general, multiplayer games are great because anytime you play with your friends, right? You invite everyone's on the Discord call, everyone's talking to each other, everyone's having fun, everyone's laughing, and then you bond, you play a game. It almost doesn't matter if you win or lose. There are times like that. There are times where it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, as long as you're having so much fun with your bros, so much fun with your sisters, or whoever the hell you play with. There's always that moment of team bonding, and it's just great. It's amazing. It's super wholesome. And then you guys watch anime afterwards if you're one of those people. It's just that single player games are just way more consistent than multiplayer games, because with multiplayer, it's not guaranteed that every day you'll have that team bonding experience. I guess the difference between single player game and multiplayer games, the reason why they are so set apart, single player games is more of an experience, while multiplayer games is more of an investment. When you play single player games, it's just you and the video game. It's based on experience. You're having fun. With multiplayer, it's more of an investment because you want to get better every day, so you invest your time into playing this multiplayer game. And that's the difference, because the main reason why video games are made, or the main sole purpose of a video game, is to have fun with it. That is the absolute main purpose of a video game. That's why video games were invented in the first place, is so that people like us would have fun. The reason why, some people don't have fun with multiplayer games anymore is because they put too much time into it. They don't take breaks. It's probably because some people want to be good at something. If it's very obvious that you gain nothing from getting better at these video games, so what then? So what if you're good at it? If you're gaining nothing, completely nothing from it, but mental struggle, then it's obvious that you should take a break, right? That's not really a problem. It's sort of like, what a multiplayer game is. It's not necessarily a bad thing. What do you expect? You play with other people, you compete, that's what it is. That's why I love single player games more, is because you don't have to experience these horrible things. Single player games is a consistently straight line most of the time. When you play Last of Us 2, it's not really a straight line, it's more of a a circle and a rectangle and a triangle, and then you would wanna suffocate yourself under a pillow for a very long time. And when you play it, there are no problems. You just play and experience the games. You feel relaxed. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. As opposed to playing multiplayer games, you'll have all these struggles that I've already mentioned. Now, I really hope that I'm not offending anyone out there. That's what I'm most scared of, if I offend anyone. I'm not trying to offend you. If you play multiplayer video games, that's a good thing. Again, I've had best of both worlds experiences with both multiplayer and single player games. It's just that my argument explains why single player is the better choice in terms of experience and basically your mental health. Obviously, if this was a different argument, like which category would give you more of a challenge, then multiplayer games would be more superior. I guess some advice that I would like to give to everyone that plays video games is, there should be a time in your life when you don't play it competitively. There should be a period in your life where you don't play the video game competitively. That's all you need, and I promise you it'll all feel better. You wouldn't have to worry about so many unnecessary feelings like rage and frustration and being a burden to the team. It's very depressing. It's very unnecessary to do to yourself. Please do not waste your time on this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe and like for more. Please, for the love of God, suggest some videos, suggest some topics that I talk, because I am running out of ideas. I have no experience in this stuff, so if you have some advice for me, I would gladly appreciate it. If you have some comments about my argument, or if you have some thoughts about this current argument, feel free to comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And again, I know I did not give any specific examples about the topics that I've talked about today and the reasons I've talked about today. I just wanted to make it, simple, short. I needed an excuse to talk to myself, okay?